This July, Claire Alexander, Lynn Batty, Robert Alexander, and Maggie Kinton traveled to Nicaragua to connect with our partners at ZPAD and in Elam Bay. On our 8-day trip, we spent time in 5 communities with longtime and new friends. We marveled at Nicaragua's incredible beauty, shared in the joy and struggles of our partners, and witnessed God's presence. We returned back to Davidson excited about the future of our partnership and looking forward to the continued transformation of all involved. We spent the beginning of the trip learning about the work SAPAD does in Nicaragua. We met with staff members Anita, Nicole, Evanor, and Harold to learn more about SAPAD's work. In addition to helping facilitate partnerships between international congregations and local communities like ours, SAPAD has worked to strengthen rural communities in Nicaragua for the past 52 years, providing training in agriculture, entrepreneurship, and community organization. We also gave 4 laptop computers donated by E2D to SAPAD. SAPAD staff throughout Nicaragua will be able to use these laptops to ensure their work continues efficiently. On our way to Elam Bay, we spent the night in the town of Patasma, where SAPAD has an office. In Patasma, SAPAD focuses on sustainable agriculture and women's entrepreneurship. We traveled with Fabio and Eldi, who work at SAPAD Patasma, to one of their communities called Cenizabu, where we attended worship at a local church and visited with 3 entrepreneurial women. First, we visited with Yolanda, who has expanded her garden so that she can grow nourishing food for herself and her family instead of purchasing it. This is a great financial help for her. Her garden had a little of everything: pineapple, medicinal herbs, and delicious mango, which we tried. We also visited with Maria, who prepared a delicious meal of soup, followed by cake, which she made as part of her bakery business. Maria is the leader of SAPAD's work in Cenizabu and one of the few local SAPAD leaders who is a woman. Finally, we visited with Flora, who grows a variety of produce in her garden. We loved our tour of her garden as she pointed out the different vegetables she grows and shared the pleasures and difficulties of doing her work. The second half of our trip was focused on our partnership with Elam Bay. We spent nights in both Maleconcito, in the home of longtime friend Juanita, and in the community of El Diamante, in the home of Yanin. We also visited the school in Aguas Frias. We met many students and teachers who showed us what they had been learning and performed a Nicaraguan dance for us. And we concluded with time playing games in the schoolyard. The center of our trip this year was our time spent in El Diamante. While DCPC travelers have visited El Diamante before, including in 2023, this was our first year spending the night in the beautiful mountaintop community. Our arrival to Yanin's house was exciting. Community members had decorated her home with balloons and palm fronds, and we were greeted by children waving, many of whom remembered our visit last year. Yanin and her family members had spent days preparing for our visit, and we felt welcomed and at home. We spent the afternoon playing soccer and other games with some of the children and making friendship bracelets because our theme for our trip was Amigos en Cristo, Friends in Christ. The next day, we painted the El Diamante school. In total, around 20 people, including our group, members of the community, and students, worked together to paint the school in the traditional colors of blue and white. It was a beautiful example of partnership. The 4 of us couldn't have completed it alone. We needed the help of our Nicaraguan partners. Parents of students who were present decided that they would finish painting the school after we left, since we didn't have enough time to complete it in one day. And the pictures of the completed school are beautiful. Thank you, DCPC, for making this collaborative project possible with your mission support. Longtime friend of DCPC Gerardo traveled with us during our entire trip and provided his own artistic expertise for 2 projects: a beautiful painting of the national bird, the guardabarranco, on the school, as well as a banner which represents our partnership with Elam Bay. This banner shows a heart morphing into 2 intertwined hands, and many of our group and the youth of El Diamante took turns painting and adding handprints. While in Elam Bay, we also distributed food supplies: rice, sugar, milk, and cooking oil to our scholarship recipients. DCPC supports 55 students in the 7 partner communities, along with 5 university students. We had 3 separate distributions in Aguas Frias, El Diamante, and Maleconcito, and they were wonderful opportunities to get to know the many students we support. We also distributed packets of school supplies to teachers in the 7 communities that they can use in their classrooms. Our last day in Quilombe began with our partnership meeting. We met with representatives from the 7 partner communities, celebrating accomplishments and setting goals for the new year. Many of this year's meeting participants were new members of the committee, and it was exciting to meet them and hear their hopes for the future of the partnership, as well as to reflect on our past week's stay. While Nicaragua faces many challenges, we left our meeting feeling hopeful about how our partnership can foster solidarity and joyful connection in difficult times. After the meeting, we visited the community of Los Cocos, where the 2023 team helped build a preschool in the new community. Los Cocos, as many will know, was a community recently built for families who were displaced after hurricanes in 2020. It was rewarding to visit the completed school filled with students completing an art project. After leaving Los Cocos, it was time to say goodbyes. Our time in Quilombe was full of shared laughter, smiles, and gratitude for our friendship in Christ. Saying goodbye is always difficult, but we hope to continue to foster strong relationships and support students through scholarships. On our last day, we explored more of Nicaragua. We visited Gerardo's place of work, the Baraola Norte Cultural Center. We also paid a visit to Gerardo's home, where we met his wife Maria, who is a friend to many DCPC members. We are so thankful to have had Gerardo accompany us during our visit this year. His presence, artistry, and insight are true gifts. We also visited the Apoyo Lagoon, taking in and reflecting upon the natural beauty of Nicaragua. This year, our trip to Nicaragua looked like time spent together, enjoying each other's company, sharing laughs, games, crafts, and stories. We continue to support the improvement of educational opportunities for students in Quilombe, and know that these students will be strong leaders in their community and country as they grow up. Taking part in the lives of others is transformative for all involved, and we have returned safely back to Davidson with gratitude in our hearts that we can take part in this. Thank you again for your support of our partnership with Quilombe and with Nicaragua.